They'd bought the Ring camera for peace of mind. Ashley, a nurse, worked night shifts. Her husband stayed home with their 8-year-old daughter, Alyssa. The camera watched over the girl's room just in case. Two-way audio, cloud storage, everything felt secure. Until one night, while folding laundry at the hospital, Ashley received a motion alert on her phone. She opened the feed. At first, just static. Then Alyssa stirred, sat up, eyes wide. Then came the sound. A tune began to play. Deck the halls, but warp like it was being played on a toy piano underwater. Then a man's voice. "I'm Santa Claus. Do you want to be my best friend?" Alyssa whispered. "Who are you?" The voice giggled. "Break your toys, Alyssa. That's what Santa says when you're bad." The girl whimpered. Ashley's screen went black. The live feed had ended. When she tried to reconnect, "Camera offline," she called home. Her husband ran to the room. Alyssa was crying, curled into the corner of the bed. The next morning, they checked the app. No login records, no breach alerts, no error codes, but a technician flagged something strange. The camera had undergone a firmware update at 3:22 a.m. the day before, except there had been no update available for that model since August, and Ring confirmed they never pushed one to that serial number. The camera was disconnected, boxed up. They filed a report. That night, Alyssa slept in their room, but just before midnight, they received another notification. The camera was unplugged, offline, not even registered on the network. But the alert still came. It included one still image. The timestamp read 11:54 p.m., seconds before the parents received the alert. When they rushed into the nursery, the window was shut, locked, but a single stuffed animal had been moved. Alyssa's bear, always tucked in bed, now sat facing it, smiling. The motion alert woke Maya first. Her husband was still asleep. She rolled over, half dreaming, and tapped her phone. Motion detected, front door. She expected wind or maybe a raccoon. And instead, the preview image made her sit up straight. There was a man standing at the base of the steps, still, facing the door, hands in the pockets of a plain gray hoodie. She hit play. He didn't knock, didn't sway, didn't even look around. The porch light flickered, buzzing above his head. The camera remained steady, but something about the man didn't feel right. It took Maya a moment to notice it. The man's face was blank, no nose, no eyes, no mouth, just smooth skin stretched over where a face should be. She paused the clip, zoomed in. It wasn't a shadow, wasn't a blur. It was deliberate, wrong. Then at 2:10 a.m., the man raised one hand, slowly, deliberately, and pointed directly at the camera. The footage glitched, just for half a second. When the image returned, the man was gone. No footsteps, no retreat, just an empty porch. They didn't sleep that night. The next morning, Maya replayed the footage in the Ring app. Something was different. The first time she watched it, the man had been standing still. But now, on the rewatch, for just a split second at timestamp 20917, there was a second figure, sitting on the porch railing, leaning forward. No facial features either, but smaller, thinner, as if watching him. They changed their locks, bought motion lights, replaced the camera. But a week later, at the exact same time, their new system pinged. They opened the app. This time, there was no man, no porch visitor, just the front steps. And the audio, a breath, slow, close, then a whisper, mechanical and human at once. "You saw too much." Maya called the police. The footage was gone before they arrived. The new camera's log showed no file, no error, as if nothing had been recorded. But at 2:09 a.m., the next night, the camera light turned on again. There was no motion, no figure, just a faint smear across the lens, a thumbprint, but elongated, too long to be human. The alert came while Luis was gaming in his den. He tabbed over to the feed, expecting a possum or the usual drifting headlights. Instead, the camera showed a figure loomed at the edge of Luis's driveway, barely illuminated by the dim streetlight. Its face was obscured by shadow, not moving, not pacing, just facing the house. The man stood partially under the street lamp, but the shadow cut across his face like a mask. Luis watched. 10 seconds, then 30. Still no movement. He reached for his phone to hit record, and that's when the feed glitched. Not a stutter, not buffering, just a jump, one frame to the next. The man stood there, not moving, not even blinking. He was just watching. His heart stopped. His fingers trembled as his eyes locked onto the camera feed. He rewound the feed. The same thing happened. He's far away, then closer. No footsteps, no walking, just a jump, like someone cut out the in-between. But something else was wrong. On the second viewing, at timestamp 3:12:44, Luis noticed movement in the lower left corner of the frame. He zoomed in, enhanced shadows. There, just beyond the trash bins, was a second shape, smaller, crouched, facing the side of the house, its head slowly tilted upward. Toward the window Luis was sitting behind. He turned off the lights, grabbed the nearest heavy object, a lamp, and moved toward the door. But outside, it was quiet, too quiet. He turned on the porch light. No one in sight. Back inside, he pulled up the footage again, but now the file wouldn't load. His security system showed a manual reboot had occurred at 3:14 a.m. He hadn't touched anything. The system was hardwired. No remote access allowed. Only one frame remained in the thumbnail preview. It showed the driveway, empty again, but something had changed. On the bottom right of the lens, just off-center, was a smudge. Not water, not dirt. A handprint, long fingers, thin palm, pressed against the glass from the outside. When police reviewed the logs, they confirmed the reboot. They found no signs of forced entry, but they did find something strange in the soil near the trash bins. Tiny footprints, bare, human, leading in toward the house, but none leading back out. At first, it was easy to brush off, but the signs were mounting. Something was wrong. Amber and Derek had been blaming each other for weeks. Food going missing, toilet paper disappearing, small things. Amber joked it was the dog. Derek blamed her stress. But one night, she found a half-eaten protein bar in the attic, and neither of them had been up there in months. So they bought a $49 indoor cam off Amazon and pointed it at the hallway ceiling, directly beneath the attic vent. The first 2 nights, nothing. But then, on the third night, something changed. Then at 2:41 a.m., the camera triggered. The metal grill on the ceiling vent shifts slightly. Not enough to fall, just a twitch. A warning. Then a bare foot lowers slowly through the opening. Toes curl over the edge of the vent frame. Then fingers. Then a head, slowly inverted, like someone descending a ladder that wasn't there. He dropped down. The sickening thud of bare feet hitting drywall echoed in the silence. No shirt, just stands there, unmoving, for 1 minute and 47 seconds. Breathing not visible, expression blank. Then he walks down the hallway, out of frame. When the couple reviewed the footage the next morning, they called police immediately. The crawl space entrance was in the attic. When authorities arrived, they found a moldy blanket, folded like a mattress, 3 empty water bottles, and a fast food receipt from 2 towns over, dated 5 weeks earlier. The man had been living above them for at least a month, watching, waiting, descending only when they were asleep. But here's what no one could explain. The hallway footage ends mid-frame. No recording of the man returning to the attic. No reverse movement. No second trigger. Just black. The camera's system log showed 1 note, but it wasn't connected to the app, and both users were asleep. The attic door was closed and locked from the inside. When police inspected the crawl space again, they found a small cutout in the insulation big enough to see through, but not to fit through. It faced downward, aligned perfectly with the couple's bed. They'd bought the pet camera for routine peace of mind. Natalie and Chris worked alternating shifts. Their golden retriever, Charlie, had separation anxiety, so they set up a basic smart camera facing the living room couch, motion activated, audio enabled. It worked fine until Tuesday. At exactly 2:18 p.m., they both received an alert. Chris opened the feed on his break. The feed was black, empty, a void staring back at him. Nothing. But the stillness felt wrong. Just the couch, coffee table, throw blanket, stillness. No barking, no Charlie. He rewound the clip. That's when he saw it. The pillow compressed like someone had just sat down. A few seconds later, the lamp flickered and turned off. Then, at the top of the frame, a picture frame hanging above the couch tilted itself 5 degrees, slow, measured, like fingers had brushed it mid-step. Natalie scrubbed the video. The house was empty. They checked the logs, growing more uneasy with each click. No entry, No exit, no voice commands, only silence. But the silence was worse than anything else. Until the very end. 10 seconds before the clip ended, the microphone picked up a sound. A voice. Soft, throaty, croaking. "Stay." She cranked the volume. And that's when she heard the second voice. Quieter, layered underneath. Almost gasping. "They're watching." They disconnected the system, bought a new camera. Different brand. Hardwired. No smart features. No mic. The following Tuesday, the same time, same eerie stillness. The alert came again. This time something was different. This time, from the new system. It showed the same room, empty again, but something was different. On the couch, the throw blanket had been folded into a perfect square, and next to it sat Charlie's favorite chew toy, positioned upright, staring directly at the camera. Natalie enhanced the footage frame by frame. In one single still, visible in the reflection on the TV screen, she saw something. A figure, crouched in the corner, limbs long, back arched, arms folded like a spider, face blurred, but clearly turned toward the lens, watching. They couldn't stay in the house after that, but as they left, they couldn't shake the feeling that it wasn't really over. But the new owners filed a maintenance request for the same living room camera. It was turning itself on every Tuesday. Same time, same duration. No motion detected, no voices, but in every single recording. The couch pillow always moved.